Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The 144,000 would-be judges and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with a lesson in truth. Disclaimer Act, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right, so I am making not a penny, all right, or profit, but using the copyright disclaimer in order to use these few seconds of this movie, which depicts actual history, which things like this actually happened tens of thousands of times. All right. And as for the Edomite woman, you do not get a pass. All right. Because you supported. All right. You supported these beasts that you give birth to and enable them to act the way that they still act. And the purpose of this video to show you that there's really nothing changed from that time to now. Nothing has really changed. All right. So without any further ado, let's play that short clip and then get on with the lesson. Because this clip sets the precedence of how violent and hateful. All right. Now, mind you, this is actually on the YouTube. So they can't, it will be beyond hypocritical to hit me with any kind of, strike as far as nudity and all that. This video is on YouTube. I'm recording this. It's called Hatred and Wickedness in Humanity, 12 Years a Slave, Extreme Action Movies. No, this is the hatred and wickedness of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They did this. Humanity didn't do this. So-called white people did this. And he got reprimanded for not whipping her hard enough because he was making a slave to whip her, and he didn't want to do it. So he's barely whipping her. He said, I want to see her flesh off her back. Now, this Edomite, perverted, evil slave master was having constant relations with this woman against her will. His very pale, not so attractive wife over there was very jealous of her. And all the girl did was went and got some soap because she wanted to clean herself. And for that reason, this is why she's being beaten. Well, just for pure hatred. But, we were under the curses. But, and it's amazing to me now how Jake women will willfully go to their oppressor. All right. But it won't be long before they're marching up and down the street like those Nazis did in Ohio that long ago. But here we go. Let's let this character, finish his statement.
Sooner or later, somewhere in the course of eternal justice, thou shalt answer for this sin. Sin. There is no sin. Man does how he pleases with his property.
There it is. He said he would answer for this sin. No, there would definitely be an answer for this. It tells you in Numbers. All right. Because they did just as bad as taking the land from the Gadites and the Reubenites and the Issacharites as they stole America, because yes, Issachar was on the western portion of America too. All right. So they're actually native. You know, you want to call them Mexicans and call them immigrants. They're native to America. You red ass Edomites. And I love it when they wear white, because it shows you how they're not white. All right. You remove them off their land too. All right, but this is Numbers 35 and 33. And it reads, "So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it," which will lead us up to the Red Summer. So after slavery, I didn't even go back as they were, as they were murdering off and pushing, because you can go back to when Columbus landed. That's when this really started. When Cristobal Colon, came over and started doing all these heinous crimes against the northern kingdom of Israel that was here in the islands and in the Americas, who had been here almost 2,200 years. Okay? But matter of fact, I want to read that in the NLT. That Numbers again. This is number 35 and 33. "This will ensure that the land where you live will not be polluted, for murder pollutes the land. And no sacrifice except the execution of the murderer can purify the land from murder." There it is, man. So Esau Edom has to be murdered. All right. Actually, he has to be killed. See, he murdered. When the Lord grants vengeance to the Israelites, it will be killing them, not murdering them. All right. Because to murder someone is to take their life without cause. Killing someone in the scriptures is vengeance of the Lord. Therefore, it's justice. It's justified. Bibi Milikowski, also known as Netanyahu, tried to use the scripture about Amalek, which he is, to the Palestinians, who are actually Shemitic people as well. He tried to make a scripture about himself apply to his enemy, which is only his enemy because he went over to steal and take their land. This is Micah 2. And I'm going to read verses. The point is in verse 2, but I'm going to read from 1 to 4. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet field when they take them by violence in houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, because behold, against this family, the Edomite family, the so-called white man, do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for the time is evil. And that day one shall take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How have he removed it from me, turning away? He hath divided our fields." So everything that Esau Edom has done is going to be done unto him double. Thus saith the Bible, thus Revelation 18:6. It's got to be done unto him double. All right. Here, what you had, you see those police officers standing over that Negro that they actually bricked to death with bricks, because there's another freeze frame of them hitting him with, they called them alley apples. That's what they called a brick, is they were bricking him to death. And you see one of the police officers actually hitting him with the brick. And I guess they're just checking to see if he's dead. But they're not showing you the matter of fact, I think it's the one that's standing over him, Not the one that's kneeling over him, but the one that's like bent over him. I believe in the freeze frame, he's the one that threw the killing blow, which opened his head up. Because if you look down at his head, you can see like his brains, the elongated portion of where his head opened up and his innards of his head fell out. If you were to actually to zoom in on that portion of the photo. All right. So they basically made his skull explode through constant blows with bricks to his head after he went down. All right. But that was just that one. And that one was in Chicago, but it happened all across the United States at that time. All right. So war had been declared a second time on Jacob, on Judah here in the Americas. First time was slavery, which lasted 400 years, where it's estimated that over 100 million died on the way over here in that 400-year period, which far. And then you had a estimated number of 500 million that died here in North America. And God only knows how many million died in South America and in the islands, all right, at the hands of Esau, Edom. So we're talking about a true Holocaust that far surpasses any other thing or any other Holocaust that is claimed here on earth. All right, we're talking about hundreds of millions of people killed by practically the same race of people. All right. Once you do a little Google research to find out who owned the slave ships that started the transatlantic slave trade. All right. Once you do a little research on that. Okay. And matter of fact, let's see what the Lord has to say about that, about the stealing of people. And the slave told his master, there will be an answer for this sin. As he was beating that girl practically to death, all for getting some soap and to please his wicked wife. All right. Then later, and then after beating her and marring her back like that, notice he didn't touch her ass though, because he loved humping her from the back, bending over and not pleasing her. He would get himself off though. Wouldn't get her off, but he definitely would get himself off. All right. What am I looking for? Oh, yeah, Exodus. 21:16. And it reads, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. All right? We're still in their hands. All right? We're still in their hands. All right? And we cannot just leave America or anywhere that we are without getting their permission. We have to get documentation. They own us. We have birth certificates. We have social security numbers. You are not free. And if you think that, you're just stupid. All right. If you think that, you're just stupid. All right. The democracy is a farce. All right. The democracy is brought with war, blood, control, and everything that it claims to be against is what it does. Fascism, dictatorship, all that's a part of democracy. It's a joke among the camp, democracy, grenade, because the two go hand in hand. All right. Anybody that starts to try to live freely outside of their system, and not with violence, just to live freely on their own and not have to be subject to payments. You try to go around their system, and they're going to come against you quite heavily. All right? Quite heavily. As a matter of fact, I got a couple videos lined up that I'd like to play. And then if the Lord gives me a couple more scriptures, I'll definitely bring them out. But let's find these. Okay, here we go. Oh, thinking of the chick that was just beaten, let's start with this one.
You can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen. So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed. You can then misuse words like oppression.
And what they call oppression is when you point out their history. When you talk about what they've done and how they actually got their power. Because the way they write it in their books and the way they teach it to their children and the way they speak about it on the news every day is that democracy is just this wonderful thing. And if you just work hard and pull yourself up by the bootstraps when you're low and go to school and then that's all a farce. It's all a lie. It's all not true. All right. They raped, robbed, stole, and murdered, took lands, all right, from other people. All right. And then anytime anyone of color tried to rise up and have any sort of what's the word that I'm looking for that's escaping me right now? When they were able to be self-sufficient with income among themselves, it begins with an A and it's escaping me, all right? But nevertheless, anytime anyone tried to live peacefully outside of their system, they came against them with great violence and with their military.
Biden passes a defense bill that allows
come on, man.
to search and seize property.
That's not what I was looking for. So, Salakia, now I gotta go find it.
Defense bill that allows.
I thought I had it twice.
Biden passes a defense. How is it that
you can then
I gotta go find this guy again. But basically, it's an interview with
How is it that the same?
It's an interview with Hillary Clinton.
Biden passes. How to introduce? You remember this interview?
There it is.
Hillary Clinton said, "We came, we saw, he died." Well, she was talking about Muammar Gaddafi. You remember this interview when Hillary Clinton said, "We came, we saw, he died"? Well, she was talking about Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. And he had just overseen the construction of the Great Man-Made River, which people were calling the eighth wonder of the world. It required 1,700 miles of underground pipes, 1,300 water wells. This thing was absolutely massive. And Gaddafi famously said that we will turn the desert green. And he would offer free land and livestock to citizens who were willing to start farms. And if you got married and agreed to start a family, you would be eligible for $50,000 in loans at 0% interest. These were massive pro-Libya, pro-family policies. He was transitioning the Libyan dinar back to the gold standard. There was talk of it becoming the official currency of Africa. But of course, that would be a massive threat to the Western banking powers. And he was talking about selling petroleum in the Libyan dinar, which again would be a major threat to the Western banking powers. Because the dollar is not backed by gold, it's backed by oil, and the dollar is the world reserve currency. This is why I write children's books on the banking system. So they didn't just kill Gaddafi, they bombed the Great Man-Made River and the factory that made the pipes. But all we get from the powers that be is lies. But we can teach our kids about the banking powers, fake news, how information is controlled, rights fundamental to being an American. It's what freedom requires. Physical learner.
And see, everything that he said is ran and controlled by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Point blank, period. All right? So it brought to mind, thinking about it, it's in James. And before that, I'm going to get how's the hammer of the earth? That's Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah 50:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among nations? All right. So it's referring to America. America is Babylon the Great. And, you know, and when you are a hammer, every problem is handled like it's a nail. All right. I have laid a snare for thee, for thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and art also caught, but thou hast striven against Yahweh. And now you're past the point of no return in this third war's war, which you're now learning, and the citizens are starting to learn, that the enemy has 40-year advantage in technological missile systems, which are far superior to the American. So it doesn't matter that they both have nuclear weapons, and they call it a mutual something destruction. All right, that's not true, because Russia could actually wipe America right off the face of the earth. All right, and then still have missiles to defend American incoming missiles. But the difference being is that America can't stop or defend themselves from the Russian incoming missiles. That's what happens when you're living decadently and other people are living dirt poor, and they put all of their money into their technology, into their missile defenses. That's what they were doing for the 40 years, you know, while America was over here partying, bullshitting, and making money with the market. All right, and trying to sell the way. No, our country needs to create things. All right, and America really doesn't create anything except weapons, and that's where they shine. So they kept wars going because they created small arms, new, you know, we got all kind of cool guns and short range missiles and, you know, of that nature. But yeah, but when it comes to that hypersonic missiles that can go into the heavens and come back down, America has nothing that can come close to the Russians. And we were warning you of that, you know, here at Great Millstone. We were warning you that way back in 2008, 2009, 2007. The elders were. All right. Well, hell, even before they went on the internet, on the YouTube, you know, the elders were telling you. All right. This is you see what they did to Gaddafi when he tried to better his people, himself and his people. This is Isaiah 33:1, and it reads, "Woe to them that spoil us, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and dealt not treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. And when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled." Because now all of a sudden they want to make peace and be friends with everybody. No, man, you don't get to beat somebody like you beat that girl. All right, you know, and just say I'm sorry and it'd be okay. No, that's not how it works. The Lord is all about that eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. All right, it says, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So the Edomite race is about to be dealt very treacherously with. Period. You hear that, Heyman Malone? Ain't nothing you, Dr. White, or Klaus Brown can do about it. All right. Yeah, you're gonna be shown no mercy, man. You're gonna have judgment without mercy. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal.